It's like driving your car and having someone cut you off, which runs you off the road. Your car flips multiple times before coming to a stop. As you come out of a traumatic trance, you only to begin to take inventory of the real damage in the aftermath of the wreckage. My wife had been cold for months. We were in our 4th year of marriage, but each successive year seemed to be an unraveling of our love into something that I could no longer recognize. While we were dating, my ex was the best girlfriend I ever had. She saw me through an estrangement from my brother, my mother, the loss of a job, and even helped me financially while I was unemployed, just to name a few. It was then that I was convinced that a woman who saw me endure such adversity should only expect to reap the benefits of my success and accomplishments. I never had a fleeting question or doubt about marrying her. Even more so, I prayed that God would only give me eyes for her, so I wouldn't be tempted by other women to cheat on her and mess up my blessing. It was the only relationship where I was in love with her as much as she was in love with me. Anybody who's ever had a relationship like this knows you may only get 1 or 2 of them in a lifetime. Fast forward 4 years, and she treats me like a transient roommate in our own home. I knew she was either emotionally separated from me, or she was engaged in another relationship, because nothing bothers you anymore when you're getting your needs met elsewhere. She also dressed a lot better for work than what I'd been used to for a long time. She always dressed professional, but she put an extra 25% of effort into really looking appealing on a daily basis, which definitely raised my suspicions. Although I had my suspicions, they weren't evidence of anything other than a nadir in our emotional closeness until I got a mysterious phone call one evening. It was a woman who claimed to be the wife of the man she was seeing. My heart skipped 3 beats, yet, I felt no anxiety talking to her. For the next 45 minutes, she told me almost every detail about their relationship that explained the deficiencies in my marriage. They met in college 18 years ago and developed a hot and heavy relationship. He was a newlywed, but that didn't stop them. For 10 years they were on again off again, until she finally cut ties with him. She decided to make vast wholesale changes in her life, and for the better. She committed her life to God, focused on healing, and her son, and putting behind her a relationship that was forbidden from the start. I entered her life a few years later, and appeared to be everything that she thought she deserved: hardworking, industrious, God-fearing, engaged with her son, and a nice guy. At least nice enough not to hurt her like the other guys in her past did. I was, in retrospect, a safe business decision. As the dirtbag's wife told me of her experiences with my wife as the other woman for so many years, I immediately knew that virtually all of our marital problems were so far beyond me, that there was no way that I could ever compete with an 18-year relationship. I knew in that moment that none of our problems started with me, although I contributed my fair share of imperfection, and they couldn't possibly be addressed or resolved without a major commitment on her part. As I sat and listened on the phone, I also got a glimpse of what I didn't want to be, which was the male version of the woman on the other end of the phone. She was devoutly religious, devoted and dedicated to her family, and a fighter, who refused to give up on having a real family. These are all great qualities unless you apply them towards someone who's unwilling to change. This woman suffered for years behind this man's selfishness, arrogance, and myriad affairs with multiple women. Having that conversation allowed me to see that I didn't want to be that person. Then my wife came home, and that's when the fireworks started.